record set the same day at College Station by Michael Norman, the world champion. We start in lane 5, the preferred lane. Matthew Moore, the senior from Baylor. He ran 45-45 yesterday. That is also his lifetime best.
Well, 3 Baylor Bears in the final, but that is the man to beat, I believe. Elijah Godwin has run the fastest time in the country this season, but went out a little bit hard yesterday in the semis. Michael Moore nipped him at the line to get that preferred lane choice, lane 5.
I'll go you one better. He's got the best time in the world this year, run at the SEC championships a couple of weeks ago in Fayetteville. But he's going to have to really get after it, and he has no one to key off of out there in lane 6. From the inside, Michael Joseph of Kansas, then Hassani Barr of Baylor, Matthew Moore of Baylor, and Elijah Godwin on the outside from Georgia. By the way, Elijah Godwin, Olympic gold medalist in the mixed 4x400 relay in Tokyo.
Well, Michael Johnson says if you take a second off the front end, it's going to come back and help you on the back end. But if you go too fast at the beginning, you're going to pay the price at the end.
Oh, and a crash there for Hassani Barr. He is out of it. It's Michael Moore chasing Elijah Godwin.
This is the same position that Michael Moore found himself in the semifinals yesterday. He was able to run Elijah Godwin down.
It's not going to happen today. Godwin with a much better finish than he had yesterday, much more like he was in Fayetteville, and he produces a time very similar to that. In fact, identical to that. 44.75 for Godwin. He matches his lifetime best, number 5 time ever, and number 9 all-time world. Today he came to play.
So this is right after they made the break to the inside. Feet and arms can get tangled. And one thing that these coaches have said, I want my athletes to run clean. Elijah Godwin, he paced his race out a little bit different. Didn't go out as hard in the first lap, and he had plenty to spare at the end. And you saw him rocking and rolling there in the last 10 meters, but so much stronger in the finish than in the semis.
There are the official results with Matthew Moore getting second at 45.08. So that's the time to beat for the athlete. Matthew Moore getting second at 45.08, so that's the time to beat for the athletes in Section 2. You can win it from either section because it's on time. But Godwin's got to sit back and wait for Section 2 with the more seeded runners from the semifinal get their chance to run. At least they know what they're running for.
Well, there you see everybody setting up their blocks. Interesting block setup on this track. Lane 6 is quite a bit higher as we see Ryan Willie, the junior out of Florida. Talked to Mike Holloway this morning, and he said Ryan Willie is a second day guy. He always performs better on a second day of the championships than he does in day 1. And I think it's just a matter of getting in, getting out the nerves, and then coming back on day 2 and settling in and running hard.
Just inside of him in the preferred lane 1, lane 5, because he had the best time in the semis, is the senior from Arkansas, Christopher Bailey.
Well, I think if there's somebody that's going to challenge Elijah Godwin, it's going to be this young man right here. He's run his fastest times of the season on this track, both in the open and the 4x400 meter relay. If he can get into a groove and he can get in good position with a lap to go, we could see him challenge and go under 45 seconds today.
He was third at the SEC meet 2 weeks ago. And he now knows what he has to do if he wants to win the title. You got to go better than 44.75. Godwin is the only runner of 8 who's ever gone under 45, and he's done it twice now.
And Dwight, when I watch track and field, this is the time that I don't miss. It's those moments right before the race. This is when your heart is pounding the most, and you've got to calm yourself. You have to use every technique in the books to just calm yourself down, follow the instructions.
Well, Baylor got some really lousy lane draws for their 3 finalists. 2 guys in lane 3. That's tough for the Bears.
Nathaniel Ezekiel is extremely tall, 400-meter hurdler there down in lane 3.
Team title hopes, of course, implicated here with Christopher Bailey in lane number 5. From the inside, Ezekiel of Baylor, Bynum of Tennessee, Bailey of Arkansas, and Willie of Florida. The time to beat, 44:75. That's the time they're shooting for.
All right, Ryan Willie on the outside. He's gone out extremely hard. And this is a little interesting sometimes when you get out there and you have nobody to key up. Sometimes you can push it just a little hard, but clear leader right now with 1 lap to go.
Everybody gets to the pole without breaking stride, no collisions. That's always a good thing. So now it's Ryan Willie trying to hold off Christopher Bailey. They know they've got to go faster than they ever have by a good bit if they want to win this title. Willie of Florida in front, Bailey of Arkansas trying to find a place so he can make a move. Bynum trying to move on the inside is going to be Willie. Now it's a matter of time. He breaks 45, but not fast enough to overtake Godwin. So a personal best for Willie at 44:93 now, the second collegiate under 45 seconds this season. And Bynum runs 45:30 for second in that section. That's going to overall.
Well, what a valiant effort by Ryan Willie here. You can see he knew exactly what he needed to do, and that was just to step up his effort than the previous runs this season. He gave it absolutely everything he had, but look at the composure in the last 15 meters. He really holds it together nicely. Good tempo, good position, crosses the line, but it's just outside of Elijah Godwin's time.
Willie breaks 45, has the number 3 time in the world this year, number 13 all time, but it ends up second place points for Florida at 8. There are the final results as everyone finished. So you can see there,